I got to know. Tight jeans, tattoo, cause I'm rock around. Half black, half white, diamond now. Gang of money.
And that is Lacey Lee Elliot. That's right. You've met her before on our program as host of Driving Television. Yes. She's also a bodybuilder, in case you couldn't tell by her wonderful physique. How are you, Lacey?
Hi, Lacey.
I'm lovely. Glad to be here.
Bodybuilder's a bit of a misnomer for what you actually do, isn't it? You're in bodybuilding competitions, but explain figure.
Yes, well, I just recently did the Sandra Wickham Fall Classic, which is a bodybuilding show, and they do have bodybuilding. But I compete in something called figure, which is still, as you can see, very muscular.
Yeah.
But I think I would say a little bit more soft, not quite so large. It's
Yeah.
always hard to explain because people know what bodybuilding is.
Well, I can tell by your physique that you're not the kind of bodybuilder that's
wow, do that
large.
again.
Flex for me, Lacey.
Crazy.
Holy smoke. Now, you just came out of a competition literally on the weekend. So you have been training for this for how long?
I train and prep and diet for it for about 13, 14 weeks.
Okay, walk us through. I mean, obviously there's the gym, but you and I are Facebook friends, so I can get your updates on what you're doing. What do you do with your diet? Because it's really important for you to get in the physique that you need to be to like play close attention to that.
Huge. I laugh, but really the gym is actually, if you go to the gym's the easy part. It is probably 80% your diet.
Yeah.
I was saying to you earlier. No carbs. Wow. We're low carbs, very low carbs, good carbs. No sugar, no wine, no alcohol, no beer. So, I mean, people always ask me how I get my abs. And I always say, you don't want to know. And they're like, oh, yes, please, I'll do 100 sit-ups. I'll do whatever it takes. I'm like,
the
you gotta give up the wine.
Yeah. I mean, the gym's the part that you really be able to enjoy. I mean, the other side of it really is that sacrifice that you're doing. Huge. And is that for the full 13 weeks, that diet? Does it get more intense as you get closer to competition?
Pretty much. My trainer, I was very lucky. I get cheat days or cheat meals once a week, kind of. So it gives you something to look forward to. And mine was usually pizza and cheesecake.
I was going to ask what your cheat meal was. Yeah. And does volume matter, or can you just for that one meal give her?
I just usually for one meal just give her. The last couple of weeks I didn't get a cheat meal at all, unfortunately. So
now before we talk more about the competition, we want to look at some of your before pictures because you haven't always done what you do now athletically. So let's look at the before picture and tell us when this was. And
yeah, I love this picture. But it's funny. This was me back in January of last year, and I mean, I look good. I have no complaints. I mean, this is how most people see me. It's my normal body. I was going to the gym hours and hours a day, and I wanted to look like the girls in the magazine, and I just couldn't figure out why. Of years at the gym, I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
So ended up hiring a trainer who was a bodybuilder and prepping for my first competition, which was Fame, back in March. And the results that I got in like 12 weeks of just
And when is this
crazy.
photo from?
This was actually from Saturday. This was just taken on Saturday at the Sandra Wickham Fall Classic.
And how did you do at the Sandra Wickham Fall Classic?
I placed 4th out of a group, a fairly big group of 16 actual competitors in my class. And that was back in March. That was Fame, so a different competition.
So I think you gave us a little insight into why you first started, but why do you continue? What's the positive loop feedback for you?
Some days I really don't know. When I'm low carb and crying and going, why am I doing this? Anyone out there that's done this before will understand. It's the results that you get.
Yeah.
It's mind-blowing.
Now, 14 weeks of training. You just had the competition on Saturday. Obviously, you don't have to be as strict at the moment. How long does your physique stay in the shape it needs to be for the competition?
I would say if you're doing everything 100%, you really peak. Like they talk about bodybuilders a lot, peaking. You're really at your prime condition for that day, honestly.
Really?
It's crazy, the science and
I was going to say, how much,
and
we've talked to MMA guys before about making weight on that day and your training and everything else. I mean, is it really triggered to like, that Saturday, that's when you're going to be...
It really is. Like, it's unbelievable. Like, my trainer had me down to eating, 90 minutes, having a certain meal 90 minutes before going on stage, and just...
What about water intake? Because you hear that a lot about athletes. Do you have to be careful with that?
We did a water load the week before, and then Friday night cut water. So you do a depletion just like the MMA fighters.
Yeah.
Pretty much the same thing.
What was
yeah.
the first thing that you ate after the competition?
My boyfriend made me a cheesecake.
Hey!
And I've already eaten the entire thing.
Do you have to be careful when you're finished? I mean, when you finish the competition and you've peaked for that particular day, do you have to be cognizant of how you're putting the weight back on and how you're coming out of that?
You do. A lot of competitors will actually gain more weight afterwards because I mean you've been deprived for so long, and I think you want
your body's
all
going
of
to
this
store
stuff.
it as fat and
Exactly. So I mean I kind of had a bad experience the first time, learned my lesson, and now I'm back to eating 5 or 6 clean meals a day.
Yeah.
But I had my cheesecake. I had a muffin with a girlfriend today. So just kind of ease your way back into it.
I find this fascinating because I equate it to any sport where, like, marathoning or ultra marathoning, where you're really testing your limitations and seeing what you can do with this vessel that you're given to stroll around the earth.
Well, and I think the thing is that you ask why am I doing it again? I've almost become addictive with it, going, the first time I did this, like, I did everything all natural. No, I didn't even take fat loss pills or supplements. Like, I did it all 100% me with the food I was eating and the training I was doing, and I was just blown away what I could do. And now I'm looking at that going, back in March I looked good, and now I'm looking at the show I did, on Saturday, I looked really good, but now I'm looking at going, well, I got 4th, so how can I look even better?
Are you going to do another competition?
Yeah.
Yeah?
See, competitive nature
I
plays
am,
into
right?
it.
Can you do me a huge favor
Yeah.
before we go? Can you flex again so that people can see this? It's amazing. Mike, are you afraid?
I know.
No,
I know.
I'm the exact opposite
Now, we
of
didn't
afraid.
even get a chance to talk about driving television, but you can go to the website to find out more information. We want to find out more about Lacey. She has her own website as well. It's laceyslife.com. Always nice to see you.
Yes.
Thanks,
Enjoy
Lacey.
the
Nice to be
cheesecake.
here.
A pleasure. Go to our website and check it out. You can follow her on the blog as well and see what goes into Lacey's journey. It's just fascinating to watch and listen to. So thank you.
Thanks for
Appreciate it.
having me,
you.
guys.
We're going to take a break. When we come back next, Mary Zilba joining us, recording artist, actress. She's got her own scent now. She's got her own perfume. We'll talk to her about all of it right after this. Stick around.